Warren Buffett has said many, many times over the years that you can spend your whole life building your reputation and destroy it very, very quickly. And environmental issues are a very easy way to destroy your reputation in the next 10 years because people are watching. So there it is. Now, and I wish there was a sexier way to do this presentation, a funnier way to do it, because these are serious issues. But I hope that those 9, if not all 9 of them, if only a few of them are compelling, I hope that they are compelling enough for you to say, we need to stop just talking about this and thinking maybe vaguely about it. We need to actually be doing something about it. So if you're at a point where you say, well, okay, let's do something. Well, what can you do then? Very briefly, just 4 things to do. Before I get to those 4 things, though, one point to make. I don't want to end with these 4 steps by making you feel guilty, because I can promise you that no matter what you are doing, there is always more you could do. And that's the problem with many people who are eco-activists, is they'll never say, well done. They'll always say, oh, well, you've done that. Well, why don't you do this as well? And this is our danger. I was listening to Radio 4 a few months ago when I overheard this little snippet and then tracked it down. It's a parody on that old, remember the Monty Python skit? When I was young, oh, luxury. Well, listen to this about some eco-warrior people who are trying to outdo each other in how much they've done for the environment.
So, how did you get here?
Oh, I came by train.
Oh, really? Is that right? A train, you say?
Aye. Had no seats.
Mine had no carriages.
Mine had no train.
Well, first I cycled to the station.
On an old bike?
Aye, with no chain.
Aye, mine had no saddle.
Mine had no wheels. Just a metal frame and 1 pedal.
Still a bike made of metal, plastic and oil. See, I had it tough. I had to walk.
That's nothing. I shot down a plane and then crawled here. My hands and knees are rubbed raw, not from the pavement, but from the Hessian sacking clothes I wear that show how much more I care about the planet than you do.
Right. I got up at 4 AM before they were light in order to operate in dark to prove that I don't use light bulbs at all. A handful of locally sourced organic fair trade dirt. I closed an airport, then tunnelled to the studio using a shovel made out of pure smugness while holding my breath and planted a tree every 2 foot between here and my house.
And if you told that to the eco-bores of today, they'd still try and outgreen you.
Aye.
So I don't want to do that for you, because some of us are doing something. But there is always something more that we could do. And that's all I want you to think of, is just what's the next thing to do? Not the next 100 things, just the next thing to do. Every one of us, if we just do a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit, it will all add up. So what should we be doing? 4 things. First of all, you've got to understand this issue. You've got to measure what your impact is. We call that carbon footprint, and there's various labels for it. But it's really just about understanding the impact that we have on the planet. One of the simplest ways to do this is to just pick up a little unit that can measure electricity, because that's the easiest thing to measure. This little baby is a wonderful little thing. I don't earn any money. I don't have any connection to this company at all. But for 30 quid, go onto the internet, search for current cost unit, and for 30 quid, you get this. Even an accountant like me can work out how to put that around your electrical supply, and that wirelessly goes on the kitchen counter. My girls love this. It tracks the electricity. You switch the kettle on, you see exactly how much electricity is used, and it tracks it by day, week, and month. And we have an aim in our household to reduce our monthly usage down to below 200. And you make a target, and you make it fun, and everybody's involved. And you can do that in your office. Every floor of your building, you could put one of these in. It's so easy, and when people get to understand, when they see the measurement, they begin to get involved in the issue. And for 30 quid, you can pay it back in 2 months in an average household saving in energy just by getting people involved. But you can go further. You can put solar panels on the roofs. You can do all sorts of clever things with waste recycling and with water and with all sorts of things. And these are just guys I've worked with in the past. The only company I have an interest in or had is this company, TIDES, just so that you know. I was an external consultant there, no longer. But this is a government agency and the rest are private companies. But you go onto Google and you'll find hundreds. In fact, more than that, Richard Branson was asked recently, if you had to start again with 100 quid in your pocket like you did when you started Virgin, what company would you start now? And his answer, without even blinking, was an environmental consultancy. And many people have already done it. So step 2 then is once you measure and understand and have a program in place to reduce your energy usage, get your people involved. Make it fun. Activate all the stakeholders, your staff, your colleagues, your family if you're thinking of doing this at home. And then make sure that everybody gets it. Remember the days when we had quality control departments? Some of you are old enough. I'm only just old enough to remember a quality control department. We don't do it anymore because now quality control is everybody's problem. That was total quality management and Six Sigma and all that stuff. The same is happening with talent management. Talent management is not an HR function, it's the function of every single manager. And I'd suggest that that's what needs to happen with energy. It's not the CSI department, or it's not the CSR department, or it's not the energy manager's issue. It should be on every single manager's performance review program. What have you done around sustainability? Get everybody involved. Johnson & Johnson do that by asking every single person in their Johannesburg office to record on a monthly basis their fuel efficiency. And they have a competition every single month. It's rated by the size of engine in the car that you have. And they give prizes, cash prizes, to the top 5 most fuel-efficient drivers in Johnson & Johnson every single month. The directors hate it because none of them ever win. But everybody, especially the younger staff, love it. Gets everybody involved. It's just a bit of fun, but it really does make a difference. Step 3 then is to build this into the core of your business strategy. This should be a line item at every executive meeting. It should be in every strategy review document because of the 9 reasons that I've been talking about. As cover of Business 2.0 put it a while ago, go green, get rich. Just a reminder, there are 9 reasons to do it, but we've talked about that already. Just to say, don't go overboard. Green is not a replacement for other things. You can't go to your market and say, we're a little bit more expensive than everyone else and our quality is not as great, but we're very green. That isn't going to work, as this airline discovered. Silverjet were a business class only airline that was going to operate across the Atlantic, and they folded very soon. One of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons was they made carbon offsetting a mandatory part of the ticket. You couldn't opt out. And I thought everybody who flies business class will want to be green. Yeah, but everybody who flies business class also doesn't want to have the most expensive business class seat available on a flight from London to New York. And then step 4 is to be bold. Be the lead. Don't wait for the benchmarking statistics to come out and try and just get to average in your industry. In fact, there's a little bit of counterintuitive logic around this one. If you do take a lead, you can then campaign with the activists to bring new, tougher green legislation into your industry because you've already complied. And this might be a way to get a jump on all your other competitors and keep them out, creating barriers to entry. And that, again, should be something that many people, business people, are quite interested in doing. This might be the way to do it. That's a little bit of sneaky nastiness at the end of the presentation, but for many business people, that makes a bit of sense. I suppose what I'm trying to say is simply this, that you can do well as a business by doing good as a business. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. They are if you only chase the bottom line. They are if you only care about this quarter's shareholder results. They are if you only care about maximizing shareholder wealth. But if you care about your business, about the long-term sustainability of what you do in the world and how you do it, then doing business sustainably makes a lot of sense. Because it's the Football World Cup, I thought I'd end with a football analogy. You need to face this challenge of environmental change. Because if you turn your back on it, well, have a look at what might happen. So, I said I'd give you details. Oh, just a reminder. The E, the environmental issue, is only one of 5 disruptive forces that I think will shape and disrupt our businesses over the next 5 to 10 years. And those of us who want to see our businesses survive and thrive need to take not only this, but all 5 of them seriously.